The 7 steps to start a successful business even if you're a beginner. Assalamu alaikum, this is your brother Mohammad Arshad, and in today's video I want to share with you the most important advice that you need, the tips, the tricks and the techniques to start a business from scratch even if you've never done it before. So I just want to say that alhamdulillah, we have a very amazing opportunity for people like yourself who want to ask questions, and we will create videos to answer those questions. So today's question, which is all about starting a business from scratch, which business shall I do, those kind of questions, they came from different people. So Abdul Basit, Rida, Suhail, Abdi, Abdul Razak, Arif, Muhammad Ibrahim, they all asked the same kind of question, which is, how do I start a business from scratch? How do I do this? I've never ever done it before. What do I do? Right? So in this video, I'm going to go through all of those 7 tips with you, inshallah, the 7 steps. So the first thing I want to do is I want to say that it's great that you're starting about thinking, it's great that you're thinking about starting a business. Why? Because there are so many benefits to you having a business, right? And I just think it's wonderful that you're thinking outside your normal kind of situation to do that. Today is a great time for you to start a business. Like, the opportunities that we have available are endless, right? And so not only are the opportunities endless, but the tools that we have at our disposal are endless as well. So I think it's really wonderful you want to do that. At the same time, I want to give you like a real dose of reality, okay? What do I mean by a dose of reality? I want to tell you what it's really like being an entrepreneur, right? Like, what is it like being an entrepreneur? What is it like starting a business? Because I feel that a lot of people, they have this notion that it's like this or it's like this, right? Or they feel like, oh, it's going to happen like that. And I think that you have to have a reality check, right? What do I mean by that? It can take years, and I mean years and years, to get successful, okay? And it requires proper commitment, it requires dedication, it requires sacrifice. Sacrifice meaning you have to give something up, right? And you know, the whole journey is full of ups and downs and smiles and frowns, and like, ask anyone that's into business that's been there for a long time, they'll have horror stories, you know. Now, of course, there are times when success can come quicker. I'm not saying that. I mean, alhamdulillah, like, one of my first kind of businesses that I launched was an Amazon product online. And that got to like $20,000 per month very quickly, within a few months, alhamdulillah. But then at the same time, I've had other businesses that I've worked on for years, and they're still not successful, you know. So this whole journey, like, it can go here, it can go there. But the key is for you to do these 7 things, and inshallah, that will really take you to the next level in terms of getting to success, inshallah. Okay, so let me give you this advice, but just let you know that for me personally, alhamdulillah, like, I've been studying business formally, like, as my main subject, not as a side thing, since 1997, right? So in 1997, I studied business formally at college. Then I studied it formally at university. Then I got a job in sales, and then I did project management, and then I did lots of kind of different organizations that I helped to launch and grow, Muslim organizations and stuff. So I've got a lot of experience. And what I've done today is I've basically sat down and thought about all that experience, including starting all these businesses and helping other people start their businesses. And I've thought, what are the most important things that you as a beginner need to know about this stuff? And maybe you're someone who's actually started, but you haven't got fully where you want to get to. And for you, it's really relevant as well. So let me go through these tips, and inshallah, that will really help you. So tip number 1, pick wisely. Pick wisely. What do I mean by that? That you need to realize that whatever you pick, it's going to be something that is going to be long term, right? So you want to pick something that you are passionate about, something that is a strength, and something that you have experience in, right? Something you're passionate about, something that's a strength, and something that you have experience in. Because why do you want to do each of these? You see, the passion, something that you're passionate about, it will keep you going when you feel like giving up. Because there's going to be times when you feel like packing it all in, saying, I don't want to do this, let me just get a job, it's not working, let me leave it. But if you're doing something you're passionate about, if you're doing something that you enjoy, that something is that makes you feel good, then you will continue, even if you don't. So for example, for me, like, helping other people, coaching them, consulting them, advising them, this is something I was doing even when I didn't focus on it from a business perspective. Even if I wasn't getting paid, I would be helping people, you know? So you want to choose something like that you really care about, and you will do no matter what. Because then, inshallah, like, even if you have to go 20 years, that's fine, you'll be there. And I remember one of the marketers I know, Seth Godin, he said that marketing is about staying in the game long enough. Like business success, if you want to be successful, it's about you staying there long enough before everyone else kind of disappears. So that can be helped by you having your passion, by you having something that is a strength, and you having experience, right? So I would definitely advise that you make sure that you pick wisely, because this is going to be your thing, inshallah, right? Number 2, be dumb. Be dumb. Okay. So this is a bit of a weird one, right? But the main thing is that you need to realize that your passion, your strength, your experience is not a real substitute for proper business and marketing experience. Okay, so what do I mean by this? Sometimes what happens is that I think, oh yeah, I worked in a business my whole life, right? So I worked in a successful company. So if I've worked in a successful company, surely I will be able to start a successful company. And then I come with this mindset that I already know how to start a successful company because I worked there. No, it's not the same, right? What you need to do is you need to come with a beginner's mindset, okay? What is a beginner's mindset? A beginner's mindset is like, I don't know anything, okay? It's better that you start from zero, I don't know anything, and then get everything that you need and get to that level, rather than saying, you know what, I know everything, I don't need to know anything, right? And so I've seen a lot of people make this mistake, that they might have been in an industry for 10 years, and now they're doing their own business, and they think, I've got 10 years business experience. No, you don't. You've never started a business in your life, right? And so because you're starting for the first time, you need to make sure that you actually learn from the beginning, okay? And this is extremely important if you're knowledgeable as well, because a lot of the time intelligent people, like, they think that they're clever enough that they can do it, but you got to start from the beginning. And there's lots of tools out there, alhamdulillah. Like, we have a really great training that I've kind of packed into about 15-20 minutes. You should definitely go check that out. It's at muslimceo.com. Like, as soon as this video's finished watching, like, just the second video you need to do is go straight to muslimceo.com, check out that video, and I promise you it's going to really open your eyes even more than this video in terms of how to then market and how to actually create your product and take it to market as well, inshallah. So check that training out. The third thing is solve a problem. Okay, so businesses are all about adding value, right? It's about adding value to others, and one of the best ways to do that is by solving problems. The type of problem you choose, the more painful the problem is, the better, right? Why? Because people are likely to want to solve it and do something by it. You're not going to have to convince them. I mean, think about something like if there was a treatment for cancer, right? People would pay tens of thousands of pounds, and they do, for chemo and stuff like that, right? Because it's life-saving. It has such a big pain of not having your loved ones around and stuff, that people will be willing to pay whatever it takes. And so you want to choose a problem. Now, I'm not saying that you actually do drugs or anything like that, obviously, right? But what I'm saying is that when you're choosing your actual product or your service or the problem, you need to have that right mindset that I want to give something that solves problems and benefits people. And if you do that, then when it comes to selling and all those things, it will be so much easier, inshallah. So the fourth thing is act fast. Act fast. Remember, there's a saying, money loves speed. Money loves speed. What does this mean? It means that money will flow to those who take action quickly. Like, if you're the first to the market, if you're the first to get to somewhere to sell, like, all that whole speed, it is a massive thing. And another element to this is like having an MVP mindset. MVP mindset. What is an MVP? MVP is a minimum viable product. Okay, so this comes from a theory called the lean startup, which is all about starting up your businesses, your projects, and all these kind of things in a very lean way, in a very quick way. I was speaking to one of the experts about this, and he was saying to me that after all his years in the industry, he's realized that 90%, that's almost everyone, right? 90% of businesses can be started within 3-4 days. Okay, so 3 to 4 days, you could start 90% of businesses. And this is the opposite of what I see in the real world. So for example, there was one sister I was talking to. She had an amazing idea. I really loved it. I thought this can be really successful. It can make money. It's a good business idea, right? So anyway, I'm like, how long have you been doing this for? She's like, yeah, I've been doing this for months and months and months. And I'm like, okay, great. Like, how many products have you sold? And she said, no, I haven't sold any products. And I was like, what? Why haven't you sold any product? It's a great product. I'm looking for funding. Okay. Why are you looking for funding? Yeah, because for me to kind of make the products and stuff, like, I need this much money, I need this, I mean, I'm like, hold on. Like the product you're saying, how much does it cost to make? She was like, well, probably around £20, £15. I'm like, so if it costs £15, £20, why don't you make 5, 10, 15, 5, even 2? If you can even make one, why don't you make one and try and go and sell it? And she was like, oh, no, I'm looking for funding, right? And this is the completely wrong way to be thinking. The way for us to be thinking is that we are going to move fast, and in our moving fast, we're going to create the most simplest version of the product. Now, it might not be that that product is finalized, it's ready, it's the one that you're going to go to market with or take photographs of, but just doing something in a very simple way, doing it quickly, that's much better. And most people, they will think about their idea of a business for months and months and months, maybe years, until someone else does it, and then they go, I had that idea, right? But the problem is that you weren't fast enough. So, you know, one of the big things to take away from today is that you need to take action and you need to do it quickly. And that's why I'm saying, straight after this video, you have to go to muslimceo.com and check out that free video that we've got for you, inshallah. So that's the fourth thing. The fifth thing is test and iterate. Test and iterate. Okay, so when you're starting a business, you need to realize it's all about testing. Okay, why is it about testing? Because the truth is, you don't know. You have a hypothesis in your mind that I think this idea or I think this business will do really, really well. The worst thing you can do right now is fall in love with your idea. Okay, fall in love with your idea. And I've seen it so many times. People, they get their idea and then they make everything fit to their idea. It reminds me of like this program called The Apprentice, right? Where they kind of go to the focus group. So you got one team that goes to the focus group, but they love the idea so much. They go to the focus group. The focus group says to them, no, we don't like it. And at the end of it, all they hear is, yeah, some of them said we should do this, right? And then they go and do it and it's a disaster. And so in the same way, don't fall in love with your product. Don't fall in love with your idea. Fall in love with success. And in order for you to do success, you have to test. You have to test and test and test. And then you need to iterate. You need to improve. You need to change. And you need to constantly be doing that. If you do that, even if you don't get it right first time, the fact that you're doing it fast and you are testing and iterating will eventually lead you to something that's successful, inshallah. Okay, number 6. I don't have to count. 6 is take massive action. Okay, take massive action. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned in business is that taking action beats everything else. Like, you know, so many times intelligent people that I coach, that I speak to, you know, they'll say to me like, I see other people like they're so much more successful than me, but I know I'm more intelligent. Because intelligence alone doesn't matter, right? What matters is that you take massive action. And that's why sometimes you'll see people who literally like, they're dumb. I don't mean that in a horrible way, but they're dumb, but they're so successful and they've achieved so much, whether it's from a money perspective, a business perspective, because they've just taken action, and they're just taking actions. And so for you, you need to become an action machine, right? You need to become this person who is just out there, just taking action. Now, of course, I'm not saying that you don't work smart. Of course you want to work smart. But on top of that, I'm saying there's no replacement for hard work and for hustle, right? So if you really are serious about doing this, you have to take massive action and you've got to work hard, you've got to work smart, and you just got to keep going at it, inshallah. And then number 7, the final one is called slap yourself. Slap yourself. Okay, I know this is another weird one, okay? But you'll know what I mean when I finish explaining it. So what I mean by this, let me tell you a story. Bill Gates, his father, Bill Gates Sr., invites loads of people to his house. I think there's like 20-something people there, right? And after dinner or whatever, he sits everyone down and he goes to all of them, write down what you think was the ultimate factor to you being successful. So you can imagine there's probably like a lot of successful people there, right? One of them obviously is his son, Bill Gates, and then another one is Warren Buffett. So Warren Buffett is a billionaire investor. He's like really massive when it comes to investments and stuff. One of the richest people in the world as well, right? So it just so happens, well, by the way, Warren Buffett's telling this story. He said that we were sitting there and Bill Gates' dad says, write down the thing that is the most responsible for your success, right? And he goes, after we wrote it down, what I realized is me, Warren Buffett, and Bill Gates, we both wrote down exactly the same thing, right? Isn't that amazing? 2 of the most successful, richest people, best businessmen in the world wrote down that their ultimate success was down to one word. Okay, one word. Wouldn't you like to know what that word is? Of course you do, and I'm going to give it to you, right? So the one word that they said is focus. Focus. Okay, now on one hand, I've got to tell you that when you hear this, focus, you're like, huh? What? Why is that important? What about this? What about that? Like, focus is one of the most important lessons I've learned as a business person, right? Because what you'll suffer from, you'll see that there's a disease out there called shiny object syndrome, they call it. Like, we kind of joke about it. We call it shiny object syndrome. That basically you're working on a project, you're doing something, it's going okay or whatever, or it's not going so well even, and you see something else and you're like, oh my God, that looks amazing. Look, Amazon, selling on Amazon, that's the way, let's do that. Or then you're like, okay, you start your Amazon business, then you're like, oh my God, look, drop shipping is the way. Amazon's got too much competition. Then you go to drop shipping, and then you go to drop shipping, and then you're like, no, drop shipping doesn't work because of all the issues around selling on Facebook. Okay, well, we're going to go to Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin, great. Oh no, Bitcoin's dropping. Leave Bitcoin. Let's go and do something like selling face masks because like they're doing really well for Corona, and you just kind of jump from one to the other to the other to the other. And what that eventually means is that your focus is just all over the place, and you keep starting so many different things, right? And so the way to think about this is that if you move one step in this direction, and then one step in this direction, and one step. If you move in different directions, only one step, you will not go as far as if you keep to one path, one direction, and you go 7 steps forward, right? So for that reason, we need to realize that focus is such an important thing in business, because it's like the power of the sun, right? If the sun is just coming to us, it's not very powerful in the sense that it doesn't do anything to us, right? But if you get a magnifying glass and you take that power and you focus it in one point, with that magnifying glass, you can start a fire and you can burn down a whole place. Not that you'd want to, right? And so for this reason, I'm saying to you that focus is one of the most important things. And so whenever you feel like, oh, ACN, oh this, oh that, give yourself a focus slap and tell yourself that, look, ultimately for me to be successful, even close to the levels of people like Bill Gates and these successful business people, I must focus. If I fail to focus, I will fail, right? So just to kind of recap the whole thing, because I know that there's a lot of stuff in here, right? The first thing I said to you, the first tip, the first step is pick wisely. Choose something that you're passionate about, strength, experience, etc., right? Number 2, be dumb. Come with a beginner's mindset. Know that you don't know. Even though you've been in the industry, and even though this and that, unless you've started successful, profitable businesses, you do not know about starting a business, and you should go out and get help. Like I said, go check the training out, right? And then the third thing is always try and solve a problem. Add value to people, benefit people, solve a problem, and that will be easier when it comes to selling and also, inshallah, making money overall. Number 4, act fast. Money loves speed. Make sure you do things very, very quickly. Be the first, be the one that takes action. Like I said, straight after this video, immediately go and watch the training at muslimceo.com. Number 5, test and iterate. So come with the mindset. Do not fall in love with your idea. Come with the mindset that this is the one. Like, I need to test it. If the test proves it, then I'm there. If it fails it, I am not there. I don't love this idea. I love success, right? And then number 6, take massive action. Ultimately, the action taker will win. The more action you take, the smarter action you take, the continuous action you take, that will always win. And then number 7 is slap yourself and focus. If you ever move away from focus, make sure that you do not suffer from the shiny object syndrome. Grab yourself, get someone else to grab you, slap yourself and say focus, focus, focus if I want to get to the level of these billionaire businessmen that have done it before me. So I hope that you will go to muslimceo.com, watch that training, and I pray that Allah makes it easy for you, that Allah puts barakah in your business, that Allah gives you a business and enables you to build something that's beneficial for you and your families in this world and in the akhirah, inshallah. Until next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.